kind of insulated from part of it, and because you do often, I guess, save people's homes, and the value in that is that, you know, you keep people from having to go through a whole lot of trauma in their life or whatever. But and I, like that earlier incident, you know, with my own homes, I realized, you know, how much that can really affect you. And I think I perceived that. I knew that earlier too. But I know a lot of times when we do what we do, it's really not even thought of as that big of a deal, because a lot of times we catch it out where it's doesn't really affect much. Now, if it were to go on its own devices, you know, let Mother Nature take its course, very well could be a whole different outcome. And that's one of those things that is the juggling act between the problem with dealing with fire and in the way of letting, you know, putting the fires out while they're small versus letting them grow and burning that fuel out so that things are more controllable with the lighter fuel loadings. And I guess as years go on, I thought of that balance. So, you know, here we are putting it out small, but on the other hand, if you were to let it go, and you know, they do have the let it burn policies, which don't take place around here too much because of the nature of the area. But what a question. It's part of the gratification of the job, knowing that you're doing a service for not just yourself and, you know, taking home a paycheck, but it's for the good of the country, and in a big part because you're not just working in your own area, your own county, your own city. You're working across the country, and a lot of times it's funny. One thing I think of Southern California is I don't want to even go here, but you go to different parts of the country, and you're received differently in the respect of what you or respective of what you do. I know when we go back east, you get treated like, wow, you're here to, you know, help us out. And in Southern California, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that are really grateful, but there's a lot more folks that just take you for granted. Like, you're there, you're doing them a service, and if it's not being done the way they think it should be done, you know, you're the bad guy in a sense. And I just see more of that here, and it may be because so much more fire goes on here, and they get to see things on the news and different perceptions of what it's all about, versus going back east or to Texas, and I know in Texas a lot of the firefighters back there are volunteers, and they do it because it's a service to their community, and it's a great service. And I feel that same way for the job that we do, but we kind of get lost in it because we do so much of it that we don't think of it. You know, it's a job to us. It's the camaraderie with the guys. It's the, you know, it is the job being, you know, the tough job getting done out there, and saving the resources and the structures and the people or whatever might be out there in the way. But we've been so inundated with it. It's just part of our job, and that's what we do. And I think we do it rather well. If I could be biased about it, but at any rate, it kind of humbled me a little bit going back east or back to Texas. For me was a little bit more down to earth, because so many of the communities dealt with just volunteers, and they were there because they wanted, you know, like I said, wanted to be there, wanted to serve their communities and their surrounding communities, and mostly, I think that in some of the small communities, they all know each other, and they all actually bust out their equipment and start fighting fire when they have to, like the old days. But when we got to go into those areas, we were treated like treated really well, and it kind of humbles you because you start looking at who you're working next to. Sometimes you're thinking, oh man, these guys are out there, they're not doing things safe. But then you gotta say to yourself, well, they're not trained like we are. And I think by us going into that part of the country, exposing them to how we do business, it helped them up a little bit. But there's a lot of stuff that we do that is counterproductive too, that can bog, get the job of getting the job done bogged down somewhat too. And I'll leave that one alone. That's a different subject. But anyway,